The following video is sponsored by Baseus. Baseus has some new noise-cancelling headphones. They are called the Inspire XH1s. That adaptive active noise cancellation is up to 48 decibels, and they do have some velvet-like cloud comfort with the padding on them. That's what they call it, and the padding on the top headband is very comfortable, which is great because these can be worn for very, very long periods, and they could last even a week. So with the noise cancellation off, up to 100 hours, and with a 10-minute charge, they give us 12 hours of playback with the ANC off. Now they are high-res audio certified, high-res wireless too as well, because they're using LDAC. So we have that bit rate, which is 990 kilobits per second. It's very high compared to, say, AAC or SBC codecs, and it really does improve the sound quality. You do notice it, I find, more with the highs, so it removes that compression. Now we do have a super bass 3.0, so they really put out the bass. If you're really into your bass lover, then you're not going to be disappointed with these at all. And then we have 5 microphones with AI clear calls.
And the sound's by BOSE, so you know it has a top quality tune. Included with the Inspire XH1 noise cancelling headphones, we've got a quick start guide, safety information, and this really nice pouch. Notice that it does say sound by BOSE right there. And inside there is a Type-C cable located up here and 3.5mm cable too as well. So we don't have a aircraft adapter, but those are super cheap to get, and we're talking about a couple of bucks only, so not really too much of an issue. So those cables are included and really nicely well packaged, and you can see that there is a left and right mark there, and it shows you exactly how to put them in. A little bit of a spacer there to stop them from rubbing. So a very nice case. So let's take a look at the design and build of them. It's very good. The quality, you can see there's no imperfections, there's no sharp edges, and they are relatively lightweight. Now, I've got my scales here, like I always like to do. Let's just measure because people like to know this kind of information. I know I would if I was looking at product videos. So you see that they're 275 grams, and they don't really feel like they are that 275, especially when they're on your head. And for headphones, that is actually a good weight. That's quite lightweight. I've seen many that are well over, say, 300, 320 grams. So we've got those very nice soft cups. So this is a velvet-like cloud comfort, they do call it. Ergonomics here and a nice soft padding. And having these on for long extended periods, I do not get any pain with them. And I don't feel like they're applying too much pressure to my head, which does happen with some headphones that I've tested out in the past. Now, along the top, we've got this memory foam, resilient memory foam. It feels very good. So again, there's no pressure point on top of my head that I'm feeling like it's pushing down or that's uncomfortable for me having worn these now. So that is another big positive of them. And you'll see that with the design that these can lie flat like that, and you turn them in and clearly labeled left and right, so you're not going to get confused when you do put them on. Now, with our controls here, we have the button right here for answering calls, ANC dedicated button. So good that none of these are capacitive touch buttons. They are physical click-in style press-in buttons. Never going to miss them. This is for our Type-C cable, obviously. Now, if you do charge it for 10 minutes, you're going to get around about 12 hours of playback, which is crazy good. Now, with the ANC off, they go for 100 hours. With it on, 65 hours, and if you are using LDAC, then it's quite a bit less than that. It's more like around 30, 35 hours. LDAC is streaming at a much higher bit rate, so it has a bit of a toll on the battery, of course. And then the 3.5mm there. Now, controls are on the other side here, so we have volume up and down. If you press and hold, you skip the tracks, and I'll play and stop button right there. So great design to them, excellent build quality, and I believe that this part here certainly almost feels like it is made out of an alloy, but it could be plastic, but really solid. Excellent build quality. So we've got sound by BOSE, and we have Super Bass 3.0 enabled by default. When I first started listening to them, put them on, blown away by the bass levels. In fact, I found it a tad too powerful. If you have a really good bass track, and it's already powerful when you put these on, it is really good. For bass lovers out out there, you're going to be really impressed with how these do sound because it has that Super Bass 3.0 on by default. I personally would just tone that down a little bit, those lows. So it is no competition. Over-ear style headphone compared to in-ears, they just can't produce the in-ears, the bass that you get from this style. Everything has its pros and cons. Of course, this style, you get a little bit more heat build up in summer. They're more uncomfortable. I can't quite wear them as long as in-ears, but that bass certainly makes up for it. Now, we have the LDAC codec too as well with it. Now, if you're unaware of that codec, that what it does is it's a high bitrate codec. So it's 990 kilobits per second. So that's 3 times the amount of data compared to SBC. And you really do hear it with the highs. So the highs with these, you do hear them. They're detailed, they're crisp, they come through very nicely. So it's not just about bass. Vocals sound really good, and the sound profile, fantastic. So they are angled drivers that they have optimized acoustic chambers on this for that deep bass, but also trying to balance out the sound. Now we do have with them, there's also other options. We've got Dolby Spatial Audio and Dolby Audio 2 as well. You don't have to use LDAC. Some phones don't support that, so you'll be back on the SBC codec, but there are those other options with the Dolby Audio 2. Overall, they sound fantastic. Bass lovers, you're certainly going to like these. And then other people that still like some detail and crisp highs, you will not be disappointed either with our Inspire XH1. And the volume is very good with these Baseus headphones. The Inspire XH1 doesn't disappoint there too. If you like very loud volume, then you won't be disappointed with them. There is an AirSafe option in the app, which I'll show you shortly, that you can enable that to hopefully reduce damage to your ears. I myself don't push the volume too high because I want to look after my hearing. Anyway, ANC on these, it's premium adaptive ANC, and it's so good. So with the over-ear design, the soft cups give a good seal over your ears completely. That itself is giving you passive noise cancellation. But with the adaptive ANC, we get advanced 4-layer hybrid ANC. The system analyzes your surroundings, and that is 384,000 times per second. And the reduction is up to 48 decibels. So they're going to be great for flights, commutes, and just when you need to focus and block out any noises. They do a fantastic job, the ANC. So the app is called Baseus. You'll find that in the App Store or Google Play Store. And you don't need to log into this. You can just use it as a guest if you wanted to do so. So here you can see straight up on first glance that we have just a quick shortcuts there for the ANC. So as I said, it's a reduction of up to 48 decibels. You can go into select and turn on the adaptive mode. So that's when it's going to analyze your surroundings, as mentioned before, and you have the different levels for that as well. So you've got commuting, traveling, outdoor, indoor. Wind noise reduction is a very good one to have. So if you're going for, say, a walk and it's very blowy and windy, well, turn that on. It will make a big difference. Dolby Audio toggle sound fit, and we have the sound settings. I'll show you that shortly. And the equalizer. So by default, it is the BOSE equalizer, and you have some other presets in here, but you can also go along and make your own. As you can see, if I wanted to, I could go along and make that. I don't want to save that at the moment. And the sleep mode. Now, sleep mode's really cool because if you're someone that struggles to get to sleep, maybe on a flight, then you can enable this and listen to some rather relaxing tracks here. So you've got insects, ocean waves, rainy day, and you set how long you want this to play for before it will automatically turn itself off. So in the sound settings, this is where the bass boost is on by default. And we have high-res audio. So if your phone does support this with Android, you have it on certain phones. Qualcomm chipsets and even Dimensity chipsets now too do support that. The newer ones, the last couple of years or so, you have that option to turn it on. But the downside is you gain, as I mentioned before, a much higher bit rate, quality bit rate. It removes that compression, especially on the highs, but does hit the battery. It burns through it almost twice as fast. So that's something to bear in mind. If you need the long battery life up to the 100 hours, turn ANC off, turn that off, and use the SBC codec there. So that is the app. It's straightforward, yet it has a lot of built-in features, and it's really easy to use. So what you're listening to now is a sample recorded on the Inspire HX1. So we have 5 microphones in total. So they do have some noise cancellation. In fact, it's AI-powered noise reduction there. And I'm playing a track in the background of a noisy railway station. This is London, Victoria. You can't even hear it. It's amazing. I tested this out. So it's able to remove up to 75 decibels in noisy environments. So if you need to place a lot of voice calls, well, with these 5 mics and AI clear calls with it, you're not going to be disappointed with the Inspire XH1.
Now, the Velvet-like cloud comfort that Baseus does call this, they're very good. So the cups over my ears, I don't feel like they're applying too much pressure. The padding on the top is also very excellent. So for long extended periods, yes, I can wear these. The only thing is with the over-ear style that, especially in summer or even warmer kind of climates, you're going to notice that you do get a little bit of, well, heat build up inside. That's normal. That cannot be avoided, unfortunately, but you get a really good seal, passive noise cancellation, isolation, and then the adaptive ANC with them. AI adaptive ANC works really well. So up to 48 decibels in the sample tracks that I played for background noise, an aircraft cabin, train, bus, really, really good at just reducing those ambient noises. So you can just zone out, focus on other things, and not be distracted by all those noises. So that's great. So you get up to 100 hours, but if you use LDAC and the ANC, the battery life is realistically then going to be about half of that. So you're looking around 50, maybe around 48. It is still very good considering the LDAC bit rate is a lot higher. In fact, it's 3 times more than the SBC codec. Now, if you have really good playback files that are, say, FLAC file format and a very high bit rate, or MP3s that are 320 plus, you will notice the difference. You notice that the compression is gone, that it is brilliant, that sound quality. You get those details from the highs a lot more. Vocals sound to me a lot richer, better. And then Super Bass 3.0 with this, and the sound by Bose, very, very good. So extremely powerful bass if you do need that. Now the LDAC codec, I would only recommend using that for short periods, and again, if you have really good quality original files that you're playing back. So no point using that if your MP3 collection or the current album that you're listening to is only 96 kilobits per second. You get zero benefit. So just stick to SBC and you've got a playtime then of, well, about a week or so, and it'll make it through several long haul flights without even needing to charge these, which is fantastic. So the app there that I did show you, it's very easy to use, straightforward, and has a few other different settings in there, like the Dolby Audio that you can turn that on. Good to have that option. And these are high-res wireless certified too, with that LDAC codec. All up, they are offering a lot, the Inspire XH1 for their price point, and these are, I think, fantastic over-ear headphones if you're after this kind of style with the powerful bass, with the really good noise cancellation, and very good mic noise cancellation for removing that background noise. They are definitely worth a look. Thank you so much for watching this video.